They're three of the most successful attorneys in Houston. From criminal to civil trials, these lawyers win cases and they take home big-ass settlements. They've become household names in the legal community and around the country. Tonight, we depose Rusty Harden, Dan Cogdale, and Tony BUZBEE on The Factor Uncensored. It's the oldest profession with no pension plan. Prostitution is big business in the city of Houston. We'll talk to women who have been in the life and now their goal is to keep Candy from turning tricks on the track. Don't understand those terms? They're coming up on the Isiah Factor Uncensored.
He doesn't take BS from anybody, and he's always looking out for you. He's Isiah, and this is The Factor Uncensored.
And welcome to the Isiah Factor Uncensored. We're here live at the Union Kitchen in Bel Air, and the weather could not hold us down. We are back and at full strength, and we have a great show planned for you. We have some of the top attorneys in the city of Houston joining us tonight, and we're beginning with a group of ladies. Let's start with these ladies here with us, TRACY Dudley, also Megan McMurray and Angela Allgaier. And you guys, at one point in your life, all of you worked the streets of Houston, prostitution. So you're in the process of turning your lives around. You have already turned your life around. You're reaching out to other women in the community to help them. Now, TRACY, tell us some of the programs that you have going and that you will launch tomorrow with a new facility to help women out on the streets of Houston who may be selling their bodies in order to get them on the straight and narrow.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. The ministry that I have is called Women Motivating Women, and I've been going back into prison since my last release. My last release I got out in 2003. So in 2004, I went straight back into the prison that I served time on twice. And I founded a ministry because I wanted to be able to go back in and serve the women that were dependent on men and dependent on drugs and dependent on social services, and they weren't independent. So I began doing that in 2012. I got a vision to go back to the streets, go back to Southeast Houston, and I established a program called Project Girls.
And that's where you found many of the ladies
Correct.
that you have been reaching out to. Let's begin with Megan Murray here today. First of all, what was it like out there for you on the streets of Houston and essentially selling your body?
It was a very dark place, sad, away from my family, away from
What drives
home.
you to that point?
I really don't know, sir.
Was there anything in your
Depression.
life that happened that said, my only option is to go out and sell my body?
I think it was a series of events that led up to it. A lot of unresolved issues from my past.
That first time, how difficult was it for you?
Wow, I'm taking me way back. It was really something at the time I didn't think about. It was just I was into action, you know. But looking back now, it was really hard. But it's more hard to overcome it, you know.
Okay, Angela Allgaier, you also have been out on the streets selling your body.
Yes.
Where do you stand now in making that transition? How recently did you do it?
I have been out of it for a short time now, but with the help of TRACY and what she does, I'm now currently full-time employed and changing my life for the better. I serve the Lord greatly, and I'm grateful for what TRACY does and how she has mentored me and helped me make that change.
What was it in your life internally in you that made you say it's time for a change?
Losing my kids and the death of my father and not being able to be there for my kids and my family and just missing in action for years at a time, multiple arrests, multiple, and nearly losing my life multiple times out there on the streets. It's only by the grace of God and through the help of TRACY that I'm still alive today.
And you're here today. Now,
Yes.
TRACY, tell us about the event in the last minute that we have, the program, the launch of your facility, everything we need to know if we want to attend tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow from 1 to 4, we will be launching the Project Girls Crisis Center, and that will serve as an assessment center to provide immediate and safe transition for individuals that are exiting, whether they're coming out of dancing, whether they're coming out of abusive relationships, whether they're coming off the street and they want to do something different. Because I have found most places of business, they're open from 9 to 5. Well, the chicks that I help, they call me at 2 in the morning. And so what we have done is provided a place for them to be able to come up to
Location
48
and
hours.
time tomorrow.
4351 Telephone Road, 1 to 4 p.m.
All right. Thanks a lot, Tracy
Thank
Dudley.
you.
And we wish you all the best success in turning your lives around. Thank you guys for coming on the Isiah Factor Uncensored. Coming up later, the powerhouse attorneys are in the house here in Houston, and we'll be talking to them next on the Isiah Factor Uncensored. Stay with us.
Can we get rid of this?
And welcome back to the Isiah Factor Uncensored. We're here live at the Union Kitchen, and as I said at the beginning of the show, we have some powerhouse attorneys joining us now. Here's a little history on all of them.
They've successfully represented celebrities, athletes, and politicians. They're considered the best in their field. Tonight, we chat with the trinity of attorneys in Houston, Rusty Hardin, Dan Cogdale, and Tony BUZBEE. They're here to share their ups and downs and their secrets to success on the Isiah Factor Uncensored.
And of course, you're joining us here live now. We have Rusty Hardin here, Dan Cogdale, and also Tony BUZBEE. Want to thank you guys for coming out.
Glad to be here.
Okay, glad to be here. They're like, why are we here? Well, first of all, we want to talk about the success and the achievement and how you guys have basically become household names in the city of Houston and in the legal community around the country. Are you guys ever in awe of your accomplishments? Let's start with you, Rusty.
Well, I'm sure I'm in all of my accomplishments. I'm in all of the fact that anybody gives a damn, okay? You know, I've just been a lucky guy. I grew up in a town of 9,000 in North Carolina. To have somebody interviewing me with these two guys who are real lawyers, hell, what else can be good?
Now, you have made quite an impact, especially when it comes to defending those individuals with white-collar crime. You have a successful track record. How do you do it, Dan?
You know, I think I'm the tallest midget in the room. I mean, that's the real success.
And the best with the one-liner.
You know, I grew up here in Houston, Isiah, and I'm lucky. I had a great mentor in Racehorse Haynes, and I think all of us at this table, and we've all tried cases all over the country. I think the best trial lawyers in the United States, probably in the world, are really from Houston, Texas, and we all learn from each other, and it's just it's a privilege to practice here, and it's a privilege to learn from a guy like Rusty and Tony and all that. It's not by accident that we have great trial lawyers here. It really isn't.
Now, Tony, you have been known as an attorney of the people because you've represented a lot of class action lawsuits, the BP lawsuit where you got this huge settlement from...
No, what you mean is he's made a lot of money.
Been
a very good lawyer and made a lot of money.
And he is buying drinks for all of us.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
He's already bought me this.
So what is it about Houston that makes these great attorneys?
Well, first off, it's important that everyone know these guys are a lot older than me. If the camera doesn't, you know, that's important to me.
Rusty's 52 and I'm 40.
Hey, we're being
I just
so
turned
nice.
26. Yeah.
We're being so
And
nice.
but look, to sit at the same table with these fellas, I mean, come on. But let's all agree that Houston is the epicenter of trial law in the whole country. In the whole country, and these are two of the very best. Like the very best. So I'm just honored to be sitting here, and I'm just willing to listen to the wisdom of Rusty Hardin.
And Rusty, when you hear something like that, when your
it's
colleagues
all,
are...
I think it's all BS. But here's the thing is, seriously, so Tony is predominantly civil until I think probably the governor's case. Dan has done an incredible job in the criminal law area, and I commit malpractice in both of their areas. So, you know, look, we have fun. We believe in what we're doing, all three of us. And I think I totally agree with both of them. This is the best place to practice law. I mean, do you really think in any other city in the country, some guy like you is having three lawyers sit around and talk about it? I don't think so. And so we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed being in front. We've enjoyed trying cases, and we all have very different practices. it's a hell of a lot of fun.
And one of the things that you mentioned is me sitting around talking to you guys. It's because you guys have forged such a great relationship with the media in town. And one of the things that the media has is respect for all of you guys. Now, as far as an attorney, is there a particular area that you say, I won't touch? I won't touch civil litigation. I won't touch criminal, white collar. Is there something that you feel like is not within your comfort zone, but you'll assign someone else from your firm?
There are certain types of cases I always refer to Dan. Okay?
Which are the ones that can't afford him.
But there's certain types of cases that I'm not comfortable doing, that other lawyers would do a better job than I. And I'm sure that's true with Tony in the civil area. I think that a lawyer has to be comfortable that he or she believes what they're saying to a jury. And so if they sense a set of facts or a particular person that they wouldn't be comfortable really trying to help in front of a jury, then they need to get it to somebody that's as good or better than they are that will relate to those people. So there are certain things, but not because I think I'm too good for it. It's just I don't think I'd be good in that particular type of case. And I suspect that both of them have cases that are certain type of person that they think would be better served by somebody else. That's really all it is.
Since we have so many of you guys, we're going to give you a second segment. So we'll be back with more Isiah Factor Uncensored in just a moment. There's your camera, Tony. You can smile at it. We'll be back. And welcome back to the Isiah Factor Uncensored. We're here live at the Union Kitchen. Joining us now is Rusty Harden, Dan Cogdale, and Tony BUZBEE. Dan, let's go to you. One of the questions I had, when you guys are trying a case, whether it's civil or if it's criminal, are you concerned with how the facts are portrayed to the jury, or are you concerned about the jury getting the message and hearing your interpretation of the facts?
Well, I think if you're doing your job as a lawyer, the facts are what you are presenting as a lawyer to the jury, right?
No, but what if your client is guilty, you know it, but you're trying to save his ass?
You know, believe it or not, I don't try a lot of cases where I know my client is guilty.
Really?
Believe it or not, I try cases where I believe my client's not guilty and I think they're going to be found not guilty. I mean, there is the occasional case where the offer from the state is so bad, when you got nothing to lose, in the words of Bob Dylan. But I don't try a case with the idea that, you know, oh my God, the facts are so bad, what am I going to do now? I try a case because I'm trying to win it, right? I mean, and I think Rusty will tell you the same thing. Sure. And the older we get, and I'm just talking about me, I'm not talking about anybody else, but you get more selective in the cases that you accept. And you certainly get more selective about the cases that you try. So if I'm trying a case, by God, I better have a good chance of winning it, or I shouldn't be trying it.
Tony, let's bring you in.
Yeah.
Let's bring you in. As far as cases, picking and choosing, are there cases where you will say simply, I'm not going to do it?
Absolutely.
Tell me about that.
Well, I think all of us have, because of the success we've had, have the ability to pick and choose the cases we want to be in. I mean, it's a luxury that we have, that we can decide which case we want to be involved in. So if I choose to be involved in a case, I know that I'm getting ready to put my heart and soul into it. So I intend to win it. And so in the unlikely event when I lose, I feel like it's kind of like when I was a child, I would send a little note to the little girl across the way, and I would say, do you like me, yes or no? And she says no. I want to roll up in a ball and sleep for 6 weeks.
He slept a lot.
So the point is that, you know, you're talking to some people here that you know, who have the ability to pick and choose. I mean, I'm sure the same is true with them. We get called 15 to 20 times per day on cases, and we reject almost every case every day. But the cases that we decide to get involved in, we put a lot of money into. I mean, some of these civil cases, we spend $2 or $3 million over about a 14-month period to work them up, experts and so forth. So we, like my friend said, we expect to win, and we put mean, really, I think I look at a case as a kind of a work of art. It's like a painter. For me, it's a reflection on me, of me, and I mean, I don't think any of us would start painting without expecting to win.
We only have about 40 seconds left. You guys, while you make millions, you're very successful, you also give back to the community. What are your charities of choice, and why do you choose to give back? Give you 10 seconds each.
Always involved in children, Yellowstone Academy, the Rise School, Special Olympics, anything that has to do with kids.
Dan?
Pro bono cases. Cases where I know the guy needs help, or the person needs help, and no one else will defend them on, you know, maybe a death penalty appeal, it may be whatever, but just pro bono cases.
And Tony?
And I like to put my money into homeless charities like Jesse Tree out of Galveston, because I feel like a lot of our homeless need a second chance. They need a leg up, and if you give them a little boost, they can become productive people in our society.
Thank you guys for this historical interview on the Isiah Factor Uncensored. We'll be back with more Isiah Factor Uncensored with fun and games. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Can we get to do the fun?
Welcome back to the Isiah Factor Uncensored. It's time for fun and games. Joining me now, Miss Guillory and Carmen Contreras. What do you guys have for us?
We have lots of fun. So the purple one, the report is in, the autopsy report is in. It's an overdose of fentanyl. So why is he on fentanyl? After all those years of giving the people what they want, dancing, jumping off pianos, doing the splits, the legs and the hips and the knees are hurting, so he's self-medicating on fentanyl. Problem is, who gave it to him?
Now, remember that the night before he died, he was walking around in the parking lot of Walgreens. So what they're saying is his friends were getting the prescriptions and then giving them to Prince.
Yes.
So
we got another Michael Jackson situation.
It's
Who
kinda
gave the
sad when you
superstar
think
the
about
drugs,
it.
right?
You know, he's
That's
out
very
in
sad.
that much pain that
Yes.
he's got friends getting prescriptions for him.
But my thing is, why walk around the parking lot? Sit in the truck, okay?
Being
Sit in
the
the truck.
superstar you are, right?
Yes, and then whoever gave it to him could face 25 to 30 years, third-degree murder.
In jail to help him
So
out.
if
So
y'all
what does
need
that
some
mean?
Tylenol, don't ask for no Tylenol.
You're not gonna hook me
I
up
can't,
no
I
more?
can't give y'all no Tylenols. I'm not gonna go to jail.
Friendship's over. She's not hooking me up.
Let's talk about Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. Woo! Okay, so
Yes.
she's claiming that Johnny Depp beat her with the little iPhone, the little apple, and the number 6 was on her face.
She drew that on there.
Okay, yeah.
She drew that 6
She
on
drew
her
it
face.
on there. Okay, now
Did she
is
really have a
innocent.
6 on her face?
Yes. What she did, the little
claims she
apple and the
did.
little 6. Okay.
She drew that apple right there on her
Now,
face. Yes.
but the security guards heard her say, "Stop hitting me." Well, when they walked in, Johnny Depp was 20 feet away from
Nowhere
her.
near
Okay,
her.
nowhere near her. She was on the phone with one of her BFFs, and she heard. She called 911. Cops got there. They don't believe that Johnny Depp hit her. Now, keep in mind, the mama never liked her. Okay.
Siblings.
Johnny Depp is worth what, $400 million. She's filing for a divorce after 15 months.
And guess what?
No prenup.
No prenup. Somebody called
Half.
Kanye.
Give me
So
half.
now they're saying that she's the one that caused the injuries to herself.
Exactly. And guess when she filed for that divorce? 3 days after Depp's mama died.
Yeah.
Really?
That's cold-blooded.
That's quite crazy.
Think she should be charged for a false report?
Yes.
She should be charged for bad drawings on her face. You know,
Yeah,
you don't.
but you know, there's a movie called what? Gone Girl. That
Gone
crazy
Girl. She is a
That's
gone
crazy.
girl.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
she is.
Let's
okay.
talk about Lamar Odom.
Lamar Odom,
Woo!
honey. Let's give it up to Chloe for tapping out and getting out of that relationship. As a wife and an estranged wife, she did all she could to get away
Boy,
from
bye.
that man. But I mean, come on, you overdose in Nevada in October, and someone finds you drugged out, gone, and you still want to be on a crack
12
pipe?
strokes and had 12
Crack
strokes.
pipe.
Crackhead.
His man
Lamar
is
Odom,
on
crackhead.
I didn't
Now,
say that, he
we
said
think
it.
we would have learned
Crackhead.
something from a certain
Allegedly,
diva.
like y'all said.
Yeah,
Allegedly. There's a diva who
Allegedly.
once said crack is whack.
Crack
It's
is
a cheap
whack.
drug.
Crack
It's a
is
cheap
whack.
drug. Don't do it. But no, he's
he
on
needs help.
drugs, and his friends want him to get help. So we wish him
Hopefully
the
he'll
best.
get the help he needs.
Hopefully he does. Right? It runs in the
Yeah,
family.
it runs
His
in the
father
family
is
because
on
the dad
drugs.
does drugs.
Yeah.
So it runs in the family. So we're going to continue to pray for Lamar
Yes, we
Odom.
are.
Let's talk about the biggest breakup because I really thought that I was going to get a wedding invitation. Tay-Tay, Taylor Swift,
Tay-Tay is
Calvin
on it.
Harris, the highest paid DJ. Why? How come?
Insecure.
How y'all break up?
Insecure.
That's the money bag right there. Well, he broke up with her, saying that he didn't want the relationship to go public, and he was intimidated by her. And we all know that when she breaks up, she writes songs, right?
We're
Yeah.
waiting.
Woo!
Let's talk
Let's
about
wait.
she got John Mayer and Dear John. She got Jake Gyllenhaal in The Last Time, and she even busted Harry Styles.
Out of time, ladies. Thank you guys, Miss Guillory, Carmen Contreras. That is it for the Isiah Factor Uncensored. I think we have a 2 or 3 week break, and we'll be back. Let's pray we will be back.
We are going to come
You
back.
all have a great night.
And not in a canoe.
This newscast brought to you by Carpet Giant.